Let's move on. Final question. It's actually two questions. Going to tackle these in order. Pretty much the same question, however. um, first of all, very professional Dodo asks, no question for me, just sending thoughts and prayers for when PS5 Pro comes out and a flood of requests arrive to test every single PS5 Pro enhanced game, including every base PS5 game with performance problems. Good luck, gents. This one from Degenerative AI. What are your PS5 Pro hashtag content plans? With over 70 games confirmed and counting, there's no way for you to cover them all. Do you already have a selection in mind for which games will get top priority? We have had a discussion about this, and you're quite right. And essentially, what it's going to come down to is the hardware is going to arrive at some point, and we will test games. We'll probably do like a broad range of superficial testing, and then the ones that are interesting we'll cover. It's that simple. I think obviously there's stuff like Elden Ring, which is game boost. Obviously we need to test that. There's sort of like categories of titles that we've got in mind for testing here. Is there anything specific that you want to test, Oliver?
Alan Wake, Diablo, FF7 Rebirth, Hogwarts, both Last of Us titles, Star Wars Outlaws, all the Spider-Man games, all the Insomniac games, all the Resident Evil games that are getting updates. Village and 4 are getting updates. I don't think 2, 3, or 7 are getting updates.
Okay.
I'm probably missing a few. I mean, that's just updates. There's also boost modes. I want to try boost mode with a lot of titles. I mean, Final Fantasy 16 would be one. Avatar would be one. Metaphor Fantasio. I mean, there are a million games. I could be here all day. Matrix Awakens. I'd love to see if that fixes anything with Matrix Awakens.
That's an interesting point. Yeah.
Yeah, tons of games there. But yeah, I mean, I think that probably we'll be doing a number of bigger videos, dedicated videos on big titles, and then maybe some compilation or direct style coverage on a broader variety of titles. That's maybe a bit less dedicated in that sense. But there are so many games, and I think people will have such a broad interest in so many titles that we do need to have some way to tackle as many as possible. We'll inevitably will not be able to tackle all of them, but I think probably we can get to the ones that people are really interested in, I would hope.
I think this is going to stretch into December and January and beyond, because there's going to be more titles arriving as well.
Yeah.
John, anything particularly exciting that you have in mind?
Well, I mean, obviously the From Software stuff, I really want to check out Elden Ring, Armored Core 6 on there, just to see if they can level out the frame rate. I want to see 120 frames per second games, because there's quite a few. Those that had performance limitations, essentially, would be interesting. I think a lot of the Call of Duty games had 120 modes, and they were not always consistently 120. Can they get there now? I want to find that out, especially also those with DRS. We'll see what happens there. Games like Rise of the Ronin, I recall, having extremely variable performance. Can it fix that? Stuff like that, really interesting to me. I kind of want to just go through and find some of those areas where the system really struggled. Another one I'm curious about, as you recall, because it runs in a different way than you'd expect for backwards compatibility. But I want to try Assassin's Creed Unity disc version to see because if you recall, that was one of the few games that does not actually hit stable 60 on PS5, but it does on Xbox Series, right?
Yeah, I think that's the CPU limitation. There's certain titles where they have put in basically clock speed blocks to ensure compatibility.
Exactly. And so I just want to see what's the behavior of that stuff now. Like, is there any change at all? Like, just all these weird little edge cases to see what happens, basically.
Do you have any particular interest to see what the PS5 Pro can do with Life of Black Tiger?
No. But actually, Lichdom Battle Mage, which I think may have already been 60 on the PS5 base, but I need to check that. But if it's not, we should finally get there.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm also very interested in Wukong. If we get a locked 45 FPS, that's what I'm into.
That's going to get a patch, right? I assume that game will get patched. For
I hope so.
You'd hope.
I don't know
It's
that
too
it's on the
new.
list yet.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It needs some serious help. Oh, all of the other SquareSoft stuff like Final Fantasy 16 and Forspoken could really benefit a
Oh,
lot.
okay. It's an interesting one.
Especially Forspoken had really weird performance issues, if you recall.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see where that is now.
Final Fantasy 14 also has that 4K mode. Has various modes that
Somebody call up Mark. Let's get him on the line.
Yeah,
He's going to be happy.
yeah. Call up Triforce Duddleson for that one. Yeah.
To sort of round off the discussion, should I do an unboxing video?
I think you should, because I think your unboxing videos are the best.
I think it's good content.
You approach it with that deadly serious, like British humor. That's just very like you're there. You're like, I'm wasting my time. Let's just go through this.
I'm going to make a prediction.
I think it's hilarious. Yeah.
I'm going to make a prediction. I think that the packaging is probably going to be very, very similar to the PlayStation 5. So, basically there'll be that kind of
Outer box.
very thin card sort of overlay. You open it, there'll be a white cardboard box inside. You open the white cardboard box, there'll be the controller and there'll be the cables on top. You take that component out, and then inside will be the console wrapped in white wrapping,
silk,
and, those kind of two cardboard surrounds. You take that out, and you've got a console. Maybe we could do something a bit more interesting. We could potentially attach the optical drive and the stand. You could do some size comparisons and stuff, but ultimately, this concept of it's a console.
We should find new inbox examples of every PlayStation and then open them all in a row.
Yeah, maybe we just need to. Maybe we're just doing it all wrong. Maybe we should actually, make our own packaging for the PlayStation 5 Pro and put it inside there just to introduce some variety. Maybe it could be fashioned in the style of the Lost Ark. That would be an unboxing video. Hopefully with no death wraiths coming out.
No, hopefully not.